Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Blue Podcast, and today's hosts are Lloyd and Kian. I'm still getting it right, it's fine.
Yeah.
And today we have Bradley. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good. Yeah.
Good?
Quite tired, but I'm feeling very good. Yeah.
How long was the journey to get here?
3.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much for coming.
We
really
appreciate
appreciate it. Yeah.
That's fine.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, where I live, it's just far away from everywhere, so
Yeah.
it's a trek to everywhere.
Do you ever think of moving to London?
It's never come across my mind. I would, because it's just easy to get to everywhere. So yeah, would definitely be in my mind in the future to move to London.
Perfect. Well, why don't we start off this podcast with how you guys met? Because you two have met Brad before.
We have. Yeah. We met at the Pitch Positivity charity event. And yeah, that was a great event. Absolutely loved it. Being there, getting to meet all these different kinds of people was really nice. And then, yeah, that's how we met. How many weeks ago was it now?
It was the
3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Middle of
3 or
November.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
12th of November, or the 16th of November. 16th of November.
6th of November.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get involved in that?
Funny enough, I was one of the hosts. So it started out off between me, Vivian June, and then it's with Josh Wilcox.
Yep.
We
Yeah,
know
Josh.
Josh. Yeah,
we
we know
wanted
Josh.
to create our own charity match. And then Josh got in contact with Chris, and then it all just came out from there. I was kind of in the background of it all, but I was still catching up to everything that was going on. And yeah, see, that's where we ended up at Hendon Park after a few weeks of discussions, this, that, the other, and yeah, that's where we ended up.
How hard is it to organise a charity match like that?
It depends on who you're doing it with. I feel like some people are really easy to get along with others. Some people can be really argumentative.
Oh, really?
Kind of wanting their own way. This is no shot aimed at anyone, by the way. But
we want names.
I feel like it's kind of the same as organising anything that you want. It's just as long as you can get each other's ideas into each other's heads easily without any sort of faffing around or any like competitiveness or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward until Vivian June got annoyed because there was too many changes to what we wanted to do, and then he pulled out of it, which then basically led to Chris basically taking over the whole thing.
Because he's done a few before. I've been to one with our friend Carlos. Did the commentary for that one, actually. I got completely dropped in it. I was supposed to... Well, initially I was just coming along to help set up the stream. Then I was asked to do co-commentary a couple of days before. And then on the day they went, "Oh, can you just do main commentary?" Never done commentary in my life.
Ouch. Not even on any FIFA games or anything like that.
Funny you say that. Because me, Henry, Dan and Carlos used to play FIFA, and two people that weren't playing would do the commentary.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
But we would be I don't think I could commentate like I was commentating over those FIFA games.
No.
No, and also I hadn't done my full research on everyone.
Yeah.
So I didn't know too many people. But I did an interview with Cal the Dragon at the end, so that was fun. It's always fun. But who else was there that we know?
That we know. Of course, Josh was there.
Yep.
Connor Smith.
Yes.
Val.
Valentino. So yeah.
That was nice.
There was a few people.
Big KD Dobbo, manager.
Oh yes, Dobbo was there.
Was he your manager? Or
He was my manager.
Yeah.
Oh, and considering he's a Leeds fan, he was wearing a Blackpool top.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think he knows why either.
What was it like under him? Was it interesting?
Very, very, very interesting to say the least. See, when I was at college, I played under some very good coaches, and seeing them very good coaches compared to KD Dobbo, it's a bit of a contrast. At the start of the season, in the National League North, so I was doing media with Kingsland Town, and I came face to face with... I only went on one away game with Kingsland Town, and I came face to face with Kingsland's manager, Adam Lakeland, because of the team he supports. We ended up in a few disagreements there, and his management compared to KD Dobos is just on a completely different level. I mean, some of the things that he was shouting just made absolutely no sense. Like, even a deaf person will cover their ears.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's not
But
right.
it is funny.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Dobbo.
So let's take it kind of back to the start. When and how, for the people that don't know, did you kind of get involved in this, I'd say, social media side of things?
So it was about 2022, and I see where I live is on the other side of the country to Burnley. So Great Yarmouth to Burnley on a train is in between 6 and 8 hours, which is crazy. So in the 2022-23 season, I only went to 5 games that season. I was 16, 17, 18 at that time. And I thought I may as well just record them for memories in the future. Out of all them games, we only won 1. But it was that was an amazing away day that I went on. And then the season after, I grew connections with a few people who actually live in my town who support Burnley. Started going to games with them, and then I just started going on my own to, home and away games. Done some awful, awful adventures, especially in that.
Name some, yeah.
The best and worst night of my life, Middlesbrough away, 2022-23.
Okay.
So, this is a whole different
Middlesbrough
story.
away, considering you're at the other side of the country.
Yeah, right. So it starts out that I don't have a ticket because we sold out, because for some reason we decided to take the lower allocation. This was on Good Friday 2023, and we had the chance to become the earliest team to become promoted from the Championship. And I thought I may as well try and get a ticket, beg around on Facebook, Twitter, seeing if I can get a ticket. And then someone pops up to me saying that they got a ticket for 30 quid. So I've asked my family to borrow some money for the train ticket to get up there. Being in mind that I think if Burnley win, there's going to be loads of Burnley fans out in Middlesbrough, so we can all party all night long. So get to Middlesbrough whilst I'm negotiating with this guy on my phone. I've still got all the messages on my phone as well, funny enough. And I'm waiting till it's about 10 minutes before kickoff. So bear in mind I've been in Middlesbrough for about an hour and a half now, just waiting for this guy to bring me my ticket. Then he says he's left it at a pub. Bear in mind I've already bought this ticket, 30 quid, adult's ticket. And then it got to kick off. I'm still saying, where's this ticket? Because bearing in mind, I was new to away day experiences. I've never been, let's just say, scammed before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point where I'm genuinely panicking because I might have travelled the full length of the country to not see a football game and to not see us get promoted. So I'm there panicking what to do. And as I'm watching the Burnley Middlesbrough game on the TV. We 1-0 up. Ashley Barnes has scored, and all of a sudden something just came into my mind where on previous away days, so Shrewsbury is a good example. So at half time they'd let people out to smoke fags at half time. So I decided just to peg it to Middlesbrough Stadium as fast as I could, and it was about 4 minutes before half time. I was trying to jib it a bit, but I managed to get hold of a security guard or steward, and I said, I've been smoking a fag outside. Can you please let me in? My phone's dead. You can see this right here. My phone's dead. My mate's got my ticket. So I managed to get in just before half time.
Bloody hell. Oh my
Fair
god.
play.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
commitment.
it's literally clutch at that moment. I mean, so Middlesbrough then get a penalty about 2-3 minutes after the second half starts. It's very, very edgy, intense, because Middlesbrough were then fighting for second because Sheffield United were dropping points. Obviously, Burnley fighting for the promotion of obviously the earliest team ever to be promoted. Good Friday, seven games before the finish of the season had finished. So that game was intense. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth between the Middlesbrough and Burnley fans because for some reason, Middlesbrough fans don't like Burnley.
I just don't think Middlesbrough fans like any club.
Yeah, they're like
They
Middlesbrough.
like it with us.
Yeah, Middlesbrough fans are like Coventry fans. No one in their area cares enough about them, so they'll start a rivalry with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and then I think it's around the 79th minute or something like that. It's very late in the game, and Nathan Taylor puts it across the box. Connor Roberts into the back of the net. And I tell you what, the limbs was unreal. I mean, I was in the corner there, and I had about 10 different men on the back of me. My shin was generally split against the back of the chair in front of me.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then obviously we won promotion that night. The scenes of that was brilliant. I mean, they thought we was going to pitch invade. There was so many stewards lined up, so we all started taking the mick out of them, saying, "If we win, we're on the pitch." No one ended up going on the pitch, but it was just funny just to wind up the stewards.
Yeah.
And then we're in the stadium for probably about another hour after the game, obviously celebrating the promotion. And going back to what I said earlier, I thought if Burnley won, there'll be loads of Burnley fans out in Middlesbrough. I think
Right.
I was the only one.
Really?
And it turned out to be,
No.
and it was at that point I was just really tired. And do you ever go on the nights out where it's just, you just can't be bothered with it and you have
Yeah.
to sit through it?
Yeah.
Longest night of my life. I swear down, that was the longest night of my
Even
life.
after winning promotion.
Yeah,
it's-
because I just,
Well, there's no one else there.
Yeah.
yeah, like I
Yeah, I
knew
get
no,
that, yeah.
I knew no one. I didn't know like National Express back then as much as I do now, because they come in clutch for me a lot. National Express.
Yeah.
So yeah, I basically just had to. I had a few pints with a few people from there. They're a really nice bunch of people. But yeah, it just turned out to be the longest night of my life. And then I didn't end up getting the train until 8 o'clock in the morning. Had to sleep in the train station. Someone tried to not rob me of my ID, but he wanted to borrow my ID. And the first train that I should have got was actually cancelled as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was a very, very eventful night.
Yeah. And so did you? So you kind of film these games that you go to,
Yeah.
and what's been the best video you've made so far?
I've got quite a lot of good games I've been to. I mean, last year in the FA Cup, I had 2 of my videos going to the BBC FA Cup final build-up.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So I went to the Wolves-West Brom game, where it was abandoned for 40 minutes because obviously all the
yeah.
scrapping, and that was literally right in front of me. And then the FA Cup semi-final, Coventry Man United, right behind the goal in Coventry, and that was unreal. That took a lot of trying to get tickets for as well. I mean, I had to make up a story on this Coventry fan forum on Facebook saying that basically I've got loads of mates who are Coventry fans, and they've asked for me to go, can I get a ticket? I know about 2 Coventry fans.
What, they just accepted it.
Yeah. I just managed to blag my story like that.
Fair play.
Has you got any other? You seem to be able to blag your story quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Literally, it's if you can think of something on the spot, and if you know people fall for it, it is very handy to have.
I'm sure you should be saying this on a podcast. You might not get away with it from now
It's a
on.
bit of advice for people. Bit of
Learning
advice
your
for
ways
people.
now.
Yeah. It's a bit of advice for people. Just use your brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That does make a lot of sense.
Other games that I've been to, experience-wise, when I went to Hellman last week and 2 weeks before I went to the San Siro, that was mint. First time I went to Wembley was when Sunderland got promoted to the Championship, 2-0 against Wickham. That was, again, first time at Wembley, 50,000 Sunderland fans, unreal.
Yeah.
Preston away, just any sort of like local derby is just unreal. I mean, Blackpool at home, that was our first Lancashire derby of us coming back down, and the first half was good, the second half was really bad. We bottled a 3-1 lead, drew 3-3, and Blackpool were absolutely all over us that game. But yeah, that was another amazing game. That whole season, that 2022-23 season, was just full of absolutely beautiful games. Like that's probably the best football I've ever watched of probably any team.
Yeah.
Like that team under Vincent Kompany was just something.
There was so much quality in that Burnley squad.
Yeah.
You think of like Nathan Teller, now he's Bundesliga. Would have loved to see him in the Prem, but it was also got the likes of Anas Rory in that squad. It was such a good team, and it obviously showed because it's one of the best sides that's been in the Championship.
It's kind of similar to now, but obviously the different style of play. It took us probably till about November when we got promoted that season to actually fully click, because we were at the start of the season. I think we dropped like 19 points up from winning positions.
Wow.
Which, I mean, on top of the 101 points that we got, I mean, could you imagine how many points we'd finish on? That is just a crazy amount.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, even the first game of that season, Huddersfield Town away, obviously we'd been such used to like Sean Dyche football.
Yeah.
And then when we were watching that Huddersfield game, everything's like one touch pass, move, fast pace.
Yeah.
It was like, what? This ain't Burnley, this is Barcelona.
I couldn't believe the change because I watched that game and it was absolutely ridiculous. What are your thoughts on Sean Dyche?
Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, everything that the club's achieved, everything that the club will achieve within the next 20, 30 years, down to him.
Yeah.
And 99% of Burnley fans will agree that Sean Dyche is, for what he did at the club, he deserves more than a pub name and a statue. Like he deserves free citizenship of the town. Honestly, he did so much for so little money he had. So one of the best things he helped was build the new training ground in 2016. Cost us $3.5 million, but that was all down to him with our old owners. And then obviously the signings that he made. I mean, we signed a very toxic Joey Barton.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
That would have been interesting.
And Sean Dyche kept him quiet, and Joey Barton loved his time at Burnley. He went out to Rangers the year after for half the season. He said he missed Burnley, and he came back for the remainder of that season. And yeah, it was just such a tight core of a squad that Sean Dyche had. Like it just felt so close together. It's like you knew who was going to play, you knew what was going to happen. I mean, obviously the football weren't great, but it got us results against teams that you wouldn't expect. I mean, I think it was up until 2018. We had a few seasons in the Premier League where we'd beaten the previous champions of the season before. So we had that record. And then obviously Europe, qualifying for Europe in 2018. I mean,
it's like a fever dream, isn't it? Really.
I mean, we were one game away from being in the same group stage as AC Milan.
Wow.
And so we beat Aberdeen home and away.
Yeah.
We drew away to Istanbul Başakşehir, and then beat them at home in extra time. And then we played Olympiacos away, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories about that game because their owner is known for
I'm gonna be quiet here.
their owner is known for bribing referees and going into referees' changing rooms, and there was a lot of allegations about that during the game because I think going into half time it was 1-1, something like that, and instantly the second half we've got a red card, they've got a penalty, and everything's just going towards them. So yeah, it was just not a good night. And then the home game, the amount of chances we had that game. I generally think if we put an early chance away, we would have won that game. We were absolutely battering them. And then just to think that I could have been watching Burnley at San Siro.
I'd have been.
I mean, I dream about watching Burnley at Wembley, but then watching Burnley away in Europe because I was younger at the time. But just to think of like AC Milan coming to Turf Moor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be incredible.
It's just
where does the San Siro rank on stadiums that you've been to?
definitely top three.
Yeah.
What are the top three?
Wembley, Old Trafford and San Siro.
Mm-hmm.
I think, San Siro has to be top because for me, Wembley and the Old Trafford, you can go to like any other time, but the San Siro, it was an unreal game. I mean, it was second against first. Against Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just an insane game. I was right at the top in the so-called touristy section, but it was right behind all the ultras. It's probably the only game I've ever actually nearly teared up at. Just thinking like, what have I done to get here? Like, it's just insane.
Yeah.
That whole trip was insane. And funny enough, I've got another story about that trip. So I've bought my hotel through booking.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or shall I say, I verified my card through booking hotel.
Right.
I thought I bought my hotel. So all the money I've gone out to Italy with, bang into the hotel.
Yeah.
I've had about 20 quid for about 2 days in Italy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it's quite an expensive place, Milan.
It is, but it's not at the same time. It looks more... I think for me it's because obviously euros is a bigger currency.
Yes.
Like, and then obviously when you translate it into pounds, it looks a lot cheaper. But yeah, it can be decent in some places. I mean, it depends on what you make out on it. I mean, obviously because I had about 20 quid to my name for them 2 days, I already had my AC Inter Milan tickets. So the next day I literally went to Lake Como, which is about half an hour away from Milan, which is right in the Alps. Probably one of the best place I've ever been.
I've heard it's stunning.
Yeah, it's unreal. I mean, I went there just before my flight because I decided I may as well go to Verona to then Bergamo, and yeah, it was unreal. And funny enough, the only people I spoke to there were English. Yeah, there was a Scouser there and someone from St Albans.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very random.
That
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Well, there's always this myth that everywhere in the world you go, there's a Scouser.
That's true, yeah. Everyone
And
does say that.
that just kind of proves my point right.
So how did you get your TikTok started? What was that through?
My TikTok, I can't lie, I have just a few random videos. See, TikTok's not really my main focus. Like,
Yeah.
it's sort of something I'll have to get in the mood to do.
Okay.
Or if I'm bored, I'll make a video or something like that. But I think I want to start making them properly. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of an adrenaline thing. It's not the same compared to YouTube for me. There's an adrenaline thing with YouTube because views will constantly go up, whereas TikTok, after a day, if your video doesn't blow up, your views will stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that for me. But then obviously there's huge potential in TikTok, but I think for me YouTube is better long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, a lot of people tend to use TikTok as a way to blow up
Yeah.
and then move to the long form content, like move to Instagram or YouTube to kind of keep that sustainable because, as you said, TikTok's probably quite a fickle place.
Yeah.
And you could go from getting tens of thousands of views consistently for 1 week to 1,000.
Yeah, and that's the thing with TikTok. You could literally say one thing and there your career's done.
Yeah.
And it goes everywhere. Like, obviously everyone knows Bevo. Some of the stuff that he said. Obviously he's messed up his career a little bit, hasn't he? I mean, that's what happens when you get too big-headed.
That was bound to happen, though.
Yeah.
It was going to happen eventually.
I don't know, because obviously it all started, obviously this food eating thing all started off with Ben AFC. And he's always kind of just stayed there, and he's not been big, but he's just kind of stayed on a level. Whereas Bevo got way too big-headed. He got his rubber teeth done.
So bad.
Honestly, I
don't get why you do that to yourself.
I mean, the turkey teeth as well. And
but you can get good turkey teeth.
Yeah,
This is what I mean.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and sure,
Bevo's teeth?
No.
You've not seen Bevo's teeth?
No. Oh no, Bevo's teeth beforehand, to be fair, they were really bad.
Yeah, you had to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like then you just go slightly too far.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, it's really changed.
Yeah, they are. To be fair, they aren't that bad. It's just
pearly white.
I think it's because of how bad they were before.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, he's definitely, they were horrible before. I think what he posted a video of how his teeth used to be like, and that's obviously why he couldn't actually chew food. That's why he made the videos, because he couldn't actually chew food.
Damn.
But I think with TikTok, it's the same with everything. You've just got to stay humble, not get too big-headed about everything. I mean, because that can lead you down dark paths. It can take you to obviously getting cancelled
and your career. You always got to be very, very careful with what you say and what you don't want to say.
See,
Did you see me look at Henry when you said get cancelled?
There's a difference between bad publicity and just no.
Yeah.
Like bad publicity can work out sometimes, but for me, that's something I don't want to go for at all. I mean, I've probably tried it once or twice in the past, but yeah, no, it's just not worth the hate. It's just not worth the hate. I mean, because a lot of people do say it doesn't affect them, but it does.
Right.
When
100%.
you're getting thousands of people. So last year, just before we played Everton, I said something on Twitter.
Right.
Feed the Scousers.
Right.
Yeah, I think you told us about this.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah, that's not a smart thing to say.
No, it weren't. And I was completely honest about it. I lost my head because Jurgen Klopp said something about being in Burnley on Boxing Day because we had Liverpool Boxing Day. So I said that in retaliation, and what came, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And then,
especially the Scousers.
Yeah, literally. funny enough, me and my mate was on a TikTok live literally 2 weeks before and saying, out of anyone in the UK you don't want to mess with, it's the Scousers.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously I've gone and done that. That was 1 week of hell. I was getting a lot of threats on Twitter.
Yeah, it's not.
I had to put mine and my mum's Facebook accounts on private because they were going through that. One of them had messaged my sister threatening to take me to the police.
Jesus.
I don't understand what that's about because...
I mean, you were saying about how some people see bad publicity as good. Like the biggest example is probably Fogden.
Yeah.
He gets so much stick, and it's because of obviously his opinions and stuff. Do you think, like, with the way it's going, it's not a good way for social media as a whole, that people are just trying to get bad things, if that makes sense?
I feel like social media, you've got to be a very strong-minded person anyway, because no matter what you do, you are going to get people who don't like you. I mean, when I first started doing Burnley videos, Burnley vlogs, I had a few people that don't like me. I still have a lot of people that don't like me. But yeah, you've got to be a very strong-minded person about it, because at the end of the day, if you can't take a little bit of stick, then yeah, there's no point, because it's the same with like every other aspect in life. If you can't handle a bit of criticism, you've got no chance.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I would say we generally mostly just get negative comments. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, that's because some of the
positive
people on this podcast say very stupid things.
Yeah, and I don't know who you'd be talking about there. But I think there is also a knack with social media of almost ignoring those comments. Like I think no matter who you are, you will get comments like that.
Yeah.
Like it could be one of the sidemen, they definitely still get comments like that.
Yeah, 100%.
And like they're one of the most loved groups in the UK. But yeah, that's what you got to take out of it. You've just got to try and ignore the negatives and take the positives. I mean, for me, I've actually had people watch my videos, ask me for pictures, and that's nice.
I just think that's just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's worth. I mean, people recognising you, speaking to you after games, before games, buying you pints, this, that, the other. That's what it's about. It's about a community. Obviously, making videos, you're entertaining other people. I mean, you don't know what some people go through in their lives. I mean, just watching that one video could help them. You know what I mean? It could be any video, but obviously that one video could help them, and maybe help them see a purpose in life, or a bit of joy, something like that. But yeah, it's on social media is you've definitely got to have to take a little bit of criticism, and no matter what, you are gonna get hate. And there's always been this thing on social media which is really annoying. Once someone's got past a certain level of fame, everyone just starts hating them for no reason, like Speed, like Angry Ginge. They'll start getting a lot of people not liking them just because they've gotten big. You know what I mean? And I think with that, there's a lot of jealousy in it, I think, because then people have pursued their dreams, whereas the people who are hating haven't.
Yeah, it's almost like they're very happy to support you whilst you're going up.
Yeah.
Because they can still perceive you as like one of them.
Yeah.
But then kind of once you hit a certain point, then you're kind of almost like unattainably
Yeah.
ahead.
It's definitely. I mean, I feel like Angry Ginge, like people like that, they've always stayed humble. But like we was on about with Fogden, there is definitely a decent amount of people out there who will change who they are, everything, just because they've got a few followers, like Bevo, like Fogden. You know, there's a good amount of people out there.
Yeah.
Have you met Thogden before?
I've not met Fogden, no.
Okay. I'm very Thogden's one that comes up a lot. I've noticed.
I'd like to meet him in real life because
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
But then
he's probably a nice guy, but it's obviously the stuff he says. It might just be for kind of views. He's probably a really nice.
Like
because
act,
when he was doing his Bolton vlogs like years ago, I used to really enjoy those, and because obviously he didn't, like you said with the subscribers thing. Once you reach a bit after, and they've noticed they've got a bit of fame, and they just change, kind of thing.
Do you think that could be to do with how difficult it is to stay at the top?
I don't know, because I mean, no matter what you're doing, you got to stay consistent with it.
Yeah.
And as long as you can keep yourself at a steady pace, I think if you put yourself underneath too much pressure, that can affect it. I mean, recently I had to cancel my trip to Holland literally tomorrow because of not being able to get the funds to do it. So there's definitely a lot of pressure that comes with it, because I mean, 1 week that a video doesn't come out, you know, that could be the video that blows up. That could be, you know, an extra few thousand views on my video, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was October for me. It wasn't a great month anyway. I was ill quite a bit, but the only games I was going to were like non-league FA Cup games. I went to Millwall, Burnley, and then I think San Siro was the one at the end. But at the start of the month was really hard, and it's them sort of videos. You put them videos out just to have a video out, so you've got something for people to watch.
Yeah.
Just because I'd rather put a video out, even if it's just like, you know, at the local park or something, than have no video.
Do you have like a set schedule of uploads?
So if it's a Saturday game, at latest I'll get it done by Monday night, but I normally aim to do it for Sunday tea time.
Okay.
So about 5-6
Good time
o'clock.
to post as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And then during the week as well, or do you?
During the week, probably tea time next day.
Okay.
So when
you
I
do it
go
all yourself
to
as well.
Yeah, so everything literally recording, done on my phone, editing's done on my phone. Unfortunately, I'm not rich enough to hire a team yet.
Well, you just get them for free like I do.
Yeah.
I'll pay you guys one day, I promise.
Yeah. Please.
But literally, I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. But when I first started doing vlogs, I got given my camera by Lowestoft Town Football Club because I was doing media for them, and because it was a handheld Sony cam, I had to plug it into a PC, so I'd have to wait until I come back from a game. Bear in mind, this could be about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and because my PC is really bad, like this could take hours for it to upload. I mean, it could take about 30 seconds to go through about 5 seconds worth of video. So I upgraded my phone because my previous phone camera, in fact, it's in this pocket. That phone camera is really bad. So I decided to get an iPhone 14, and the camera quality is just different.
That's the thing with phones these days, isn't it? Like, you can pretty much record at a high quality camera level, and all you need is your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, there was something I was going to say about cameras and vlogging games. Like, most clubs have issues if people bring cameras in because they can see it as a weapon.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like an experience where a steward's told you stop filming, or because it does happen to people?
I've had someone warn me at Burnley before. I think it was first game of the 2022-23 season at home. It was either against Luton or Blackpool. It was one of them. But that is the... Oh, no. I was going to say that's the only one. But no, when I was at Norwich against Hull City start of last season, I had some woman snitch on me. Yeah.
That you were filming?
Yeah, I had some women getting really upset that I was filming. Bearing in mind, she's not even in the frame, because this is when I used to just record myself with the normal camera.
Right.
She wouldn't even be in the frame, and then she'd go and literally report on me to someone.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just think that's stupid.
It's really...
Did they do anything or?
No, nothing actually happened to it in the end. I'm trying to figure out what he said to me. I think he tried to threaten me with copyright.
Can they do that?
That's what I was thinking at the time. I was like, are you sure you can actually do that?
I think
Also, was it a steward that said that?
Yeah, it was.
I don't think
it was a
steward's
steward.
got
I don't think the
power.
club can. It's more the EFL, FA.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what you'll get
well,
copyright on.
That's why like Ben Foster stopped
Doing it in the Premier League,
Premier League, yeah.
doing the GoPro
Well,
videos.
they wouldn't let him.
But yeah.
That was why.
They'd let him do it in the EFL, but I think when it came to the Premier League, they were like, no, you got to stop.
But
Yeah.
you know, the whole City fan, the whole boy,
No.
the person who's doing all the charity runs at the moment,
Oh, wait. I think so.
What's his name?
Marcus, I think.
I don't know.
No.
Explain who he is.
So, well, he supports Hull.
Yeah.
And at the moment, he's
think I've
done he's been doing runs with that Ross Cook or some.
Ross Cook, yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing runs with him at
He's
the
a
moment.
beast.
Yeah, and I think he got not banned from filming games, but he had a warning because that's what he'd make. He recorded. Do you remember Philly Jean's goal at I think it was Rotherham with the Rabona?
Yeah,
he was the
we
one.
were talking about this earlier, weren't we?
He was the one who recorded that, and I think after the season or a few games later, he got told basically by Hull City that you can't vlog games anymore.
Oh, I think I've seen this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always keep on thinking myself to this day, if Burnley ever told me that, I'd be absolutely heartbroken.
Why would they do that for us? Like, if anything, he's going to bring more fans to the club.
That's something I don't understand. I was watching a Smith video the other day. I think they were at. Oh, I can't.
I might know which one you mean. They're at
the-
Colchester, and the steward came across, told him to stop filming or something, but he had paperwork to say he could do it, kind of thing.
No.
Okay,
it
I'm
went
on about the wrong thing. Sorry.
So there was a video that came out recently, and it was the assistant manager or the manager who actually told the stewards to tell him to stop filming the game. And obviously the steward's gone over to Smith. And Smith said he's not affecting the game, it's stupid, this, that, the other. And basically the club allowed him to still keep on recording the rest of the video. But yeah, that's an
manager.
So
absolute...
interesting how they
that's
have an issue with that.
Yeah, you know the reason why is because people in professional football, managers and players, are the biggest crybabies you will ever meet. They will, like I've experienced at Kings Lynn. Like I've been told this, but they are the biggest crybabies in football. If a certain thing doesn't go their way, they'll blame it on something that happened 3 years ago. You know what I mean? It's that sort of situation. They're like girls. Let's just say. They're like archaeologists.
So it's like when their ankle hurts a bit one morning, they're like, oh yeah, that's tie tackle 3 months ago. That's definitely the cause.
Yeah.
I'm injured for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I've been told in the media some places have to be there because if not, the managers will get annoyed or something like that. It's just over the top. I know it's supposed to be professional, but I think some things in professional football are just way too over the top. There's absolutely no need for it.
Like what?
Just everything has to be so on point with everything else. Yeah, I just don't I was so the same game Alfreton away when I was with Kings Lynn. I was 5 minutes late for the coach. It's only 5 minutes. I thought it's not that big of a deal because I'd already explained to the manager, the media team, what happened. So my train left late. Not late. Early. It left 2 minutes earlier than what it should have. Then I had to get a bus from Yarmouth into Norwich. The main road that takes you into Norwich, the Acle Straight, was shut, so we had to take a diversion. So then there was about 5 minutes in between the bus stop that I get off in Norwich to the train station. This is about a 20-minute walk where I absolutely had to peg it, everything in my pocket. Then getting on the train from Norwich to Ely, because that's where the pickup point is in Ely. There was a freight train, because freight trains are quite frequent in that area. And there was one just holding up the train, and I was just like, everything's just not
Everything's
going
going
right for me.
wrong.
Yeah, literally everything's going wrong. And then I had to get a taxi from one side of Ely to the other. It was only about £6, and yeah, I was late on the coach. And then we got to the hotel for pre-match food and meet up and everything. And yeah, I got told off in front of all the players. Bear in mind, I've not even met all the players yet. I've probably not even met like half of them. Like I didn't know their names or anything, or they didn't know my names, and yet I'd been embarrassed.
What club was this? What was this club
At
you
Kings
worked for?
Lynn.
Do you still work for them?
Yeah, I'm still partly with him. I've said to him, obviously, because I do my own stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do it with him as much, but whenever I can, I will try and help.
Yeah.
But no, they're a good club. Obviously, they're doing quite well at the moment in the National League North. I think they're in the playoffs or something like that. They've got a good atmosphere going around at the club at the moment.
Yeah.
I do think the manager is a really good manager. I mean, obviously, he's very professional.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned before, he's very professional. And yeah, the other incident that I had with him is after the game. So Kingsland got battered 3-0 at Alfredton. It weren't a great game whatsoever. And he supports Blackburn.
Oh, right.
Oh dear.
And Burnley fans don't call Blackburn, or people from Blackburn. We call them bastards.
Right.
So he asked us what the score was. They were playing Norwich. I said bastards drew 2-2. He's like, you don't call them fucking bastards because
Oh, no.
I'm a Blackburn fan, and it's like you calling me a bastard. I was like, I'm sorry, man. Because at that point,
Take that as a learning curve.
literally that
Did
was.
you know he was a Blackburn fan? I just didn't
Yeah,
even
I knew he was a
But
Blackburn
it
fan.
didn't even cross your mind not to say it.
It's like fitted in the vocabulary.
Yeah.
Like you just don't call him Blackburn. Well, I actually called him that
Gosh.
then, but yeah, you literally just, especially like when you're speaking very fast-minded, or like just short, snappy sentences, like yeah, bastards drew today, bastards got battered. You know what I mean? It's especially, you know, you just forget in the moments, don't you? That like. Yeah, it just weren't great.
When the brain doesn't think before it comes
No.
out.
Let's just say I wasn't very. Yeah, no, I just weren't in the professional state of mind.
No.
That's not great.
Gosh.
Should we talk about Burnley this season?
Yeah,
How are you guys doing this season?
it's getting better.
Yeah.
We've always been since the start top six. I mean, the first two games were unreal. I mean, 4-1 away at Luton, and then 5-0 at home against Cardiff. But the team that we had, if we had that team now, we wouldn't have conceded a goal. Honestly, that team was unbelievable. I mean, our bench was capable of winning the league itself. I mean, we had Wout Weghorst on the bench, we had Zeki Amdouni on the bench, we had Muric on the bench. You know what I mean? We just had all them players on the bench. And then starting for us, we had like Wilson Odobert, Koleosho, up front, Foster at the back, O'Shea, Esteve, Bayer, yeah, Vitinho, yeah. It was an unreal team, but in between that Cardiff game and the Blackburn game, it was like a fire sale. I mean, we played Sunderland after Cardiff, and I looked at the lineup, comparing it to the week before, and I'm like, I'd snap your fingers off for a draw right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we had two keepers on the bench. We had two academy players on the bench. It was a very bareback team, and then because obviously we've got Blackburn the week after. Everyone's so anxious for that game because Blackburn have started the season off well. They usually do win the league in August, so obviously everyone was very like anxious for that game. We signed a few players, and I say luckily, them players managed to pull through, and we got a draw against them lot. They did have a goal disallowed, but yeah, it was. Since then, it's been very on and off. But then in the last few games, it's just been unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I think the team's now starting to click, like what I said about the 22-23 team, it took us till about November to start clicking, which it has done now. I mean, we've won 4 or 5 games in a row. We've conceded none.
Oh wow.
I mean, we've played 17 games in the Championship this season. We've conceded 6.
I think that's the best in the 92, isn't it?
I think it's record breaking.
Yeah, I reckon it is.
I mean, obviously your manager now is Scott Parker. Many people see him as a bit of a Championship coach, not good enough for the Premier League. His football's not best. What do you think of him so far?
So it's the same with a lot of our fans. We're still, some of them are still very blindsided to the football that we played under Company, and not taking into account the football that we played before Company.
Yeah.
So it is it is a mixed style of football. Obviously, the players are still gelling together. I think we won't see the best of us until probably after New Year. But yeah, I mean, defensively, I mean, we're unreal, and attacking, I mean, it is getting better. I mean, I think the Coventry game was the first time we scored 2 goals in about 2 months or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, the attack hasn't been great whatsoever. It's like the final pass. It's just not there. The final pass ain't there. You know, the strikers haven't been there. I mean, Foster, he's been injured. Jay Rodriguez, he's getting old, but he's actually been improving a lot recently.
Yeah, how many appearances has he made for you guys now? Did I see like 300 or something?
I think he's on 302.
Yeah, I saw something a little while ago.
Yeah, I think he's on 302. Which, bearing in mind, I mean, I don't want to know how many. Well, I do want to know how many actual appearances he's got, because obviously he left Burnley in 2013. Spent them years at Southampton
yeah.
when he nearly got into the England squad, because he was supposed to be England's next biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously he had that injury just before the 2014 World Cup, and then he just kind of shifted around the Southampton bench and first team, because obviously he was still recovering from that massive injury he got. And then he went to West Brom. He was adored by their fans. Yeah. And then we signed him back in 2019.
Been there ever since?
Yeah, he's been there ever since, and he'll probably retire at us as well. Which,
that's a nice little story.
Yeah. The one thing I want to see him do is score at Ewood Park.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously he's had the pleasure of winning the league at Ewood Park, but he's not scored against them in our colours yet, and obviously I think for him that would be amazing. Obviously, Burnley boys scoring against local rivals.
Yeah,
I just love to
100%.
see. When I've always seen Jay Rodriguez in like interviews and like when he's speaking, he seems very shy. But I just feel like for that one game, you'd see him let everything out. Like, I love it. I love it when players are like that. I mean, one player who was massive at Burnley for just for being himself.
Yeah.
Ashley Barnes.
Yes. Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, now that he plays at Norwich, every time I see him, I'm still I still feel like a kid. Like, it is just he's the man. Yeah, he's been at the club. He was at the club for about 10 years, 2013 to 2023. Yeah, 10 years. And to be fair, when his last game of the 22-23 season against Cardiff, he got such a good send-off. Yeah. And again, I nearly cried at that game. But yeah, I mean, that game against Blackburn at home, the 3-0, he scored twice, got the assist.
Was that the one when he pushed the keeper into the back of the net? Yeah. That was brilliant.
Oh yeah, that was my first derby. That was my first Burnley Blackburn game as well. Yeah, unreal.
Yeah,
amazing. Well, we always finish our podcasts with this question, and if you were to have one piece of advice to give to someone who wants to kind of do what you do, what would that piece of advice be?
Ignore everybody, go for what you want, and put 100% into it, because if you give it a chance and put 100% into it, at least if you lose, you've gave it a chance. But if you don't give it a chance, then you've 100% lost straight away.
Fair enough.
And that goes for everything in life.
Yeah.
Do you want to let everyone know where they can find you as well?
So on YouTube, Bradley Miller. On Twitter, should be Bradley Miller as well. Everything will be Bradley Miller. Instagram, Bradley Miller YT. And yeah, that's the three social handles: YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. I've got loads of TikToks. I've got too many TikToks. I've got literally a food review on TikTok. I've got me just chatting the absolute most bollocks about anything. My main one, Bradley Miller YT, is just my football one. And yeah, so Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube is the one that I use the most.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Excuse me. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Check out Brad. Subscribe if you're around here. Check out all of our other shows. As we always say, we should post about 5 a week when
we do.
When things are going well.
Yeah. When all goes to plan.
When all goes to plan. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.